Hello and welcome to the second episode of Ledger Talks, where we speak to professionals in the financial industry. We just finished an incredible interview with Yanky Weberman, the founder of the Accelerate Conference and the CEO, the owner of OnTrack Bookkeeping. It was an incredible interview, and I think that you'll learn two things. For anyone who wants to come to the upcoming Accelerate Conference, you'll learn so much about the industry. If you are a financial professional, if you run a bookkeeping company, you are a bookkeeper, an accountant, or anyone who has a business really, and want to know how to manage your money, you have to be at this conference. You'll learn so much about the conversation that we just had. You'll learn about how to manage your book, what upcoming industry, where is AI taking the financial world, and a lot of cool financial tips, and how to deal with stress as well. Take a look. So let's talk about this for a second. So first of all, what do you do for a living? Before we find out why you spend tons of time, money, and effort to make a conference, which people think makes tons of money, and it doesn't, but we'll discuss it. First, let's say, what do you do for a living? What does Yanky Weberman do for a living?
So as of now, day to day, I have a bookkeeping service firm, which we do bookkeeping, CFO services, we're QuickBooks specialists, we do QuickBooks consulting, training, setup. We also sell QuickBooks. Now this part, we also sell QuickBooks, used to be the main part of the company, like we did, someone needs a QuickBooks, they also came to us.
What's the name of your company?
OnTrack Bookkeeping. Today we call it OnTrack because it's not only bookkeeping, so it's OnTrack.
Right. So you start off by doing, let's say, what a lot of people try to do in the industry.
I'm a regular bookkeeper. I think I was the first one to have a remote bookkeeping company that I learned. I got to know bookkeeping on ledgers, the regular old way. Then I became familiar with QuickBooks. I first had a job in a company that did not use QuickBooks. We left from there and we started. I finished my course in bookkeeping. I went into a company, was like a little messed up, a lot of companies, I organized everything. Then I trained in someone and I started taking on one client, another client, another client. And until I started to, like the whole idea of doing bookkeeping for multiple companies started to get traction on it.
So first of all, it is, today it's very commonplace. As a matter of fact, to the point where I think that when someone starts a small business, they're not thinking, oh, wait, I need to get a bookkeeper, I need to get an accountant. They're already thinking I'm going to hire some company to do it. Today, it's very commonplace, especially in the Jewish world, but you were from the first people to ever do it. The concept, people don't really understand it, because if you go back, like you said, 30 years ago with ledgers, right, where people were actually doing things by hand, there wasn't such a concept. Impossible. It didn't exist, right?
So it's because of the email became a lot, and the whole way of getting information became much easier, Zoom. So automatically, the whole concept became more common.
But again, the fact is you were innovative in this field, that you had a company where essentially represented many, many companies doing their bookkeeping and accounting work and remote CFO. So you said that you were doing that successfully and you had a lot of clients. And then at one point, you obviously used QuickBooks to manage their books. So at one point, people started coming to you to ask you for QuickBooks questions.
What really happened is the company that I worked with, we all left the company. So some of them opened businesses and they had a question for bookkeeping. So who did they call? They called the whole bookkeeper. So I realized, hey, this could be a good business on its own, just answering questions. And then, so since I knew bookkeeping based on ledgers, I get to know QuickBooks, started to like the whole concept of bookkeeping. Now, bookkeeping, people think like bookkeeping, numbers, you're good at bookkeeper. Bookkeeping is not about numbers. Bookkeeping is about organization. It's an art, how you organize your books. Yes, you deal with the numbers, you put it this place and the other place, but it's an art how you organize the whole idea on the general ledger works, the debit, the credits, the type of accounts, the balance sheet accounts, the income accounts. It's just an art how to set it up. Now, as of now, we have computers. It's like very easy to
crunch numbers. You can crunch numbers.
Not only crunching numbers, but the software is trying to do. They're doing an invoice. They're doing a check. So you don't do anything about numbers. You work on your business regularly. You send estimates, bills, and you pay bills. You don't know what's happening behind the scene. Understanding what the software is trying to do just helps you to see the regular reports and regular numbers. At first, I got to know QuickBooks just because this is what everyone uses. And then hey, get certified. Okay, I know QuickBooks. I'm learning something. I know QuickBooks. And I started to take the test. I realized I had no idea what QuickBooks is. So I went through the whole course. I did a course, and I became certified on it. So I had like two types of services. We had the regular bookkeeping. We did consulting, training.
So you started to answer QuickBooks questions, and then you had remote services, whatever it's called, remote bookkeeping, remote accounting services. And as part of the thing you did, you obviously used QuickBooks to manage your clients. So you were answering questions for people in general. I know you told me that even when you had this company, just for the record, we not saying we had this conversation before, but several years ago we had an interview in Ami Magazine where we had an interview with you, and the business actually made it, in a way, a 180 since then, but maybe 360, but it definitely transitioned to this minor part to be a major part. But the idea was that you always had this idea where people would calling you for QuickBooks questions. Like you, Yanky Weberman was known as an expert, even technically, right? How do you do this? How do you do that? And the bigger picture. So at some point, I think what happened was, people don't understand today, a lot of people use, let's say, Google, but people use Teams or Microsoft or anything you use, you need to buy the program, right? So most people go online. But there is a concept of, no, you can buy it from somewhere, and what's the benefit? Why would someone go to the U.S. opposed to going online and downloading it?
So it started out when you purchased the software license and you owned it. So I had a discounted price. I became a reseller, and I just had a discounted price.
What does that mean? You license, you own it. Explain that.
So it used to be in the old days, you purchase a license on your computer and you own it. You don't have to pay every year.
Right.
You have it forever.
Right.
But now, every time you have a software, everyone needs a monthly fee. If you don't pay, then you lose it.
Right.
So it's called a SaaS software. But back in the days, it was a regular wholesaler, purchased licenses, sold it, signed it to the clients, but then they stopped this whole thing. So then it was, people call me up, they wanted to buy a software, get a better deal, and they wanted advice which software to purchase. There's a lot of versions, how many users, how to set it up.
So QuickBooks has many versions.
Yes, so smaller business, bigger businesses, with inventory, without inventory, construction edition, not contractor edition. So that's how it started to really become. Then they, for a while, they partnered with some POS software, which I went down for the first time for training, but they didn't work out, so they stopped it. I became more and more people setting it up. Now, the more questions you get, the more professional you get on it. Then if someone asked me a question I didn't know, I had to figure it out. Even the client didn't hire me to figure it out, I needed to know the answer.
But the fact is, the reason why people came to you, because the bottom line is you gave them a discount. You had the purchasing power to give it at a better rate than if they went online and bought it.
Some people came to me because they got a discount. Some people just called me up. I know what I need. I know I can purchase it from a Yeet. I want to purchase it from you.
Interesting.
That's all. They didn't want, so then they just can purchase from me. Why not purchase from me? Then technically, that's
you both win. You make some money. Exactly. Actually, win-win.
But then automatically, you get the relationship with them every time. Every 3 years, you needed to renew if you wanted to be up to date. So every 3 years, I used to sell for the same client. Every 3 years, the software, until they stopped it and they switched it to subscription. They came out with the online. It was a mess of a product. Some people who are used to desktop still hate online. They don't want to hear from it.
I heard they made a lot of changes to it.
So they did a ton of changes. The whole industry is transitioning, and they are also transitioning to online. So technically, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but they're waiting to pull the plug any day.
Well, on the desktop version.
On the desktop version. But online is not there yet. It does not have all the features. So until then, they're still keeping it. But they're working a lot to upgrade the online and add whatever is needed.
So again, just to understand, right? Everyone needs to buy the product. They buy the product online. They came to you. And then over the years, as people bought it from you, were they calling you, hey, I got a problem. How do I do this? You were the consultant without charging for it? How did that work?
Some people,
I buy the product. Hey, help me out. You know what I'm saying? So how do you deal with that?
So some people call me up. I purchased they start the conversation. I purchased a product from you like this and this and this.
How do I do this?
How do I do this? I said, listen, okay, you can sign up for support. And yeah, but okay, so it doesn't come with support. No, just for the licensing. People have first a hard time to understand it. And then they understand it. If you purchase something, the licensing does the software, and that's it. Now, I had once a client call me up, a secretary from one of my clients, someone I know very well. I worked with him before, and he has a store. QuickBooks used to have the POS software. I had 5 registers. It was a huge purchase. We could make a lot of money on it. And the client gets a discount. It really was worth it. And the secretary all of a sudden calls me. We just installed an upgraded POS version, and we have a question, this. So I asked her, where did you purchase it? From that and that person. So why don't you ask her? I mean, you're not QuickBooks?
Oh, very funny.
So people think that I am QuickBooks. So first thing I always say, I am not QuickBooks. I can only tell you how the product works and how it doesn't. You can spend time figure out that it doesn't work, or I can tell you that it can work with this and this workaround. But that's it. Sometimes normally I would charge. Sometimes it's an answer from a second.
Right.
I just answer it and that's it.
So how many people work in your company today, Yanky?
25.
25. And how many offices do you have?
We have 4 locations.
Where?
We have Williamsburg, Monroe, Montreal, and Israel.
Montreal. What do they do in all these offices?
Do bookkeeping for clients.
It's what I have in Israel. What I have in Montreal.
So the reason why I have in Israel is because I used to have a whole team in Monroe, but it was the outskirts of Monroe. The travel became complicated, and then they needed. I had a babysitting department, but then someone came to me with the idea that they live in Israel, want to open such an office. They can open it on their own, or they can partner with me, and be like fast track. So, like 10 years. So I decided, you know what? Let's do that. So
I think it's also a technical advantage when, especially bookkeeping in Israel, they can do work tonight. You can wake up the next day; it's already done.
yes. So, but there's another thing about it. When you hire employees, you want to have long-term employees. The American women who live in Israel, why they're there? The husband is learning, and they need to bring it. Now they're smart, they're experienced, and there's not much work there. So you can get very talented people for a little cheaper than that. Now I don't have cheap employees. I'm paying a lot for my employees there, but they are very talented and they're very professional, and it was worth it. So that's how it started.
So you had your company for several years. You're doing the remote bookkeeping business, and people started approaching you, whether they're starting a new company or whether they want consulting services or whether they want a different QuickBooks product. Fact is, I know any company that I've ever interacted that does bookkeeping, they use QuickBooks. I know there are other software out there, but they are the most popular by far. So the fact is, over the years, you started becoming more and more focused on a reseller of QuickBooks, and I'm clarifying that doesn't mean that you sell it once. I would think you have QuickBooks, you have it one time, it's over, but it's not the case. There's many different products, many different services, and even as people have bookkeeping companies or accounting companies, they still need to have different products within QuickBooks they need to learn. So you became the man, they started speaking to you, and you built this brand of your business, this part of your business of selling QuickBooks in a real significant way. So talk about how that happened.
So let's start with this. The whole idea of working with my competitors, the whole group of bookkeepers, how did it start? So I used to go to a conference, Scaling New Heights, from Joe Woodard. He's also coming with one of the speakers.
What's the name of the conference called?
Scaling New Heights.
Okay.
Now, I personally believe that everyone in this line has to go to this conference because it's a conference for 4 days, speakers, classes, exhibitors, softwares. You can get there. So I used to go there. Now, I started the business. I'm good at bookkeeping. Okay, I know the product. I need to hire a team, deal with clients, deal with software. I needed to figure out a process, a hiring system, a managing system, a reviewing system, and be professional in the industry, whatever it happens. How would I know how to do that? So, I had issues. I figured out some processes, some ideas. But anytime you want to do a change in your company, it's hard. So I went to this conference. I asked my father, should I go to a conference that would be the only Yid?
Only Jew, right?
He says, there is a way how corporate America works. These people know it. And you should go and learn from them how to run a business. So I came there. I was sitting in class. It was about task management, processes, and everything. I realized, okay, I have the same issues as everyone. And I got the right way on how to deal with it. And even I had an idea on my own. I got the right way how to deal with it and how to take it to the next level. Jacob Oberlander was also wanted to go there. He asked around, and they told me that I'm also going, so we went together.
Chavdizes.
Yeah. So then more people started coming because it was a good conference. So we created a group. At one time there was like 20 people, 20 Hasidim there. He started giving for us a separate room to daven and to a kosher food. Every conference he discussed with me how many people are coming. The foods are good, the food is not good. The hechsher is good till he figured out what hechsher we need. So we came to conference together. He's sitting by a conference for 4 days. So we go together. Why should I go with someone else? I can't really network with people who are not from people. So I don't know the language. I don't know the game. I don't know any movies. I don't know what to talk to them. And they start talking about this and this.
You're saying the business, to go around to see the business, that's fine. But the off time, what are you doing?
So we're sitting together. Of course, if we have a kosher room, we'll sit together. Automatically, we discuss, what did you learn? Did you know this? Did you know this? Which one is a good class? Which one is not a good class? So I was like the senior going there a few years. So I was able to help them. And we discussed together. We realized that there's a lot of things we can do together. So then we created our own group. We had a big WhatsApp group, but we created our own group. And we realized working together, everyone is gaining a ton. The knowledge that we gain, the question that's being asked.
Essentially, you're all competitors, right? Essentially.
We are competitors. The first time someone told me he was in the group, before he lost a client, before he was in the group, he was down for 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden, once he was in the group, it's oh yeah, okay, you do this, you do this. I was like, okay, it's a normal thing. Yeah, that's how business goes. You lose a client, you get a client, how to deal with this, how to deal with this. So we became much better. and we grew together. But I kept on asking everyone to come to the conference. Nobody wants to come to the conference. Some people are not.
It was at that time. It was other states,
It's
right?
in other states. Now it's in Orlando the last few years, but
It's still schlep.
yes, going for 4 days. And not everyone can leave the office for 4 days. So, but I knew this is the conference. I have to go these weeks. So I'm there. I used to work at night in the middle, but I decided, you know what? Let's do something here. Let's bring these speakers here. Let's bring these exhibitors here.
But to make the first Accelerate conference?
Yeah.
But you know that I had the discuss of being there and moderating a panel there, but it was a crazy idea, right? I know that you told me that people thought you're nuts. First of all, they said that the industry is too small, right? Like when you make a conference, how many people show up, how many bookkeepers and accountants are there in the firm world, right? Turns out a lot more than people thought, right?
Yes.
So when you start to do this idea, like what did you start? Like how do you, I mean, you're a good guy and it's a hard thing to do, but like.
So we had a group.
How do you
Our
pull it off?
group, it's not me. I'm today, somehow I'm the one running it, but technically it's not me. It's the whole group that we have. Jacob Oberlander, Retek, Mai Teitelbaum, Mati Khan, Nachman Lieser from Connect. And so like we posted, someone, let's do a conference. And people showed up. We had good speakers. They came. And
Wait, you're making stuff a little anavistic over here. It was a massive conference. People loved it. It was very successful. I stopped being like, so tell me people shut up. It was very geschmack. But how'd you arrange the first year? That was very difficult. How'd you convince
so
people
I
to come?
technically followed exactly how it is in Scaling New Heights. I followed exactly, did the same
What was your
conference.
plan? Why'd you want to do it? You told me you wanted to help other people. It's just a tzaddik. Like, what is your cheshbon? I want to make a nice conference. People should benefit like you did.
No one, yes. I just, the same like I have it, some other people have it. Now, I realized also that I grew much more when I have people asking questions. I don't know. I liked it. I liked the, besides, let's put it this way. I started my company, hired a team, we do this and this and this. I did every mistake in the book. Every. I don't think I left out one. But I learned from it. I found a new process. I know what works, what doesn't work. I know how to deal with clients. I think I know. I will know better next year.
Right.
But so why should that other young man who starts a business, or not even anyone, go through the same hell that I did? Why? We can grow together and set up the processes together, and we can help so many people. And then, you know what came to my attention? I cannot handle everyone. Most people don't think about it like, I want to be the only one. At first, yes, of course, I'm the only one. Everyone has the niche how they do the service. It's like a shidduch. Every person needs his bookkeeper. I can have a client, sometimes it doesn't work for me. The shidduch is not a good shidduch, but another bookkeeper will be perfect. Some clients is the opposite. The other person doesn't work, but me it does work.
Right. Just because if a guy's a successful company and suddenly 30 clients come his way, he's not handling them so well. He's not hiring them well. It's not going to manage it so well. It's not so simple.
So
So you decided to do this conference, right? And people came, ended up being a nice event, right? But as a side benefit, the question I asked you a few minutes ago was, how did you grow this idea of you become the QuickBooks salesman? Like you're the man who people come for QuickBooks. So I think maybe you're answering it like this, right?
no, I didn't answer that yet.
Oh, so you held off. You wanted to say it first. I was going to get back. I thought you forgot about my question.
So
Okay.
because it was like, okay.
It was a process.
Yeah. So while doing the conference, so I got to know more people. Like it comes to a point I realized, okay, I'm sitting and working all day. Nobody knows about me. I'm like older. There's new generation. New people come into the line. They don't know about me. So we did a conference and I got to know more people. And then, okay, QuickBooks here and there, like we had a group together. So I started reaching out and, hey, you can have this program of selling QuickBooks under me. You don't need to know nothing. You ask me anytime you want to know about what QuickBooks to get for your client. Now, for me, what's the benefit? I can teach every client what the QuickBooks is. Now, then they can send me the client. Every client, they need to start the whole process. What is your business? What do you do? What can QuickBooks do? What version does what? Or I go to the bookkeepers, the IT people, the accountant. I teach them what it is. Now they can know exactly what to sell for the client. They're the hero. I'm giving them part of the commission that I'm getting.
It's like a legal pyramid scheme, basically.
Yeah, that's how you call it. But this is, listen, they can help the clients.
Okay, it's not a scheme, but it works. That's how it works, right?
It works. So I signed up more and more people, and all of a sudden, it grew. So then, go the next year. We're doing the conference, we're going to professional.
You skipped a year, right?
1 second. We did first the next year, and we got people who are like, at the conferences, I got to know speakers, which are like philosophers and about accounting, about pricing and how to deal with everything. And I was listening to them a lot. And I became a little friends with them. But then, okay, I called them, let's come to the conference. And they came down, and everyone's like amazed at everything that they teach them. And you need to understand one thing. We don't watch news, like watch TV and all these things. Anything new that comes up, we know it a little later. Everyone sits, a bookkeeper, an accountant, they sit in there, they're good at what they do, they're comfortable. They have a minute extra, they take care of their kids, they learn. So when the industry changes, anything that happens, they don't know about it. Yeah, they heard something, yeah, but everything starts with something that doesn't work out first.
I hear.
But then, until the process gets traction and became really good, but they have in their mind that this doesn't work. AI, automation, QuickBooks Online. Yes, QuickBooks Online didn't work. I hated it for years. Still do in some way. But this is the new process. You need to switch sooner or later. You need to know what works, what not, what benefit can you have, which client can have a benefit, and you need to make this, and you need to revisit that monthly, like with AI now. Every minute there is a new. When you speak about AI, that's what I know today.
Right.
Tomorrow is a totally different
Right.
thing.
Right. So Yanky, I want to understand, just to clarify, because you mentioned it. You had the first Accelerate conference 3 years ago. 2 years ago, you also had a conference, but last year you didn't have a conference. Why not?
First of all, I'm not making any money on it. I lost money.
Wow. People don't realize that. They think that you see a conference, they're already making mathematics. 1,000 attendees, $100 a thing, plus the sponsorship. The guy is making a killing. How do you lose money? How does that work?
There's the venue cost, the food, someone to arrange it, the website, the marketing, the speakers. Now, some people bring for a conference, they bring speakers, exhibitors. Now, I'm not taking anyone unless I feel that's going to be huge value for the audience. Now, sometimes I will take them if the theme of the conference is something that's going to be beneficial for them now. But if it's not going to be beneficial for them now, I wouldn't do it. Now, I also...
Overall, it's a lot of effort and you're losing money. You also made Chassan last year, right?
I made Chasana, and the other one with whom I did it had a baby, so that was not it.
Wow.
Then I realized that I built up a whole network of resellers from the Accelerate conference.
Wow.
So...
First, now you're answering my question. I asked you, now I'll come back to the question I asked you. I said, how did you build up this business of building this huge network, right? This pyramid of people reselling products and under you, essentially selling QuickBooks under you. You're saying that you realized after the first two Accelerate conferences, and I guess what happened was this. You had this business that was growing, right? People keep on coming to you and growing this reselling QuickBooks, and you say, wait, the source of that was the Accelerate conference. So it's worth it for you, Yanky Weberman, at least on a personal level for sure, to do it again. Because more people know about you, they know about the business. Obviously, there's a huge benefit to everyone else. You said that originally that was the goal. You did this because to help other people, but you realize on a personal level, hey, this really helps me a lot. It grows my network. People know about what I do, and it helps you as well. So that's why you.
In other words, it makes sense to do it again. But it's not only that. There's a huge change. What happened now? When you're looking at it, I had a bookkeeping, like the QuickBooks, selling the QuickBooks. We had a QuickBooks product. Everything switched to online. Once you are online, you cannot come to me and I cannot make any money on it. It's done.
Because they can go online and order the product.
So QuickBooks does not feel that it's a new customer. They only give commission for net new customers. Mm-hmm. So if they're they can't switch their account. I have people who always says, can you take over my account? No, can't. I can't provide any discounts. It's done. You need to come sign up from the get-go right away through me or through one of my secondaries. Even I have a lot of clients using QuickBooks Merchant. They accept credit cards on QuickBooks. They have issues. Then people call me like I can help them. I can't always help them. If you sign up through one of my network, then I can help you. If you signed up on your own, first of all, you pay more. The rate is higher. It's number one. And number two, I can help you.
You can't be busy with that unless it's a separate consulting thing or whatever. You can't be busy
because the people I have in QuickBooks who work are like assigned to me to help me do sales. They can have a word and change things and make things happen sometimes if it's part of their network. If it's just an account, a client did something, like, where do I come in here? Mm-hmm. So I did help people sometimes. People had money sitting by QuickBooks. I did help them. People got locked out. I did help them, but I can't always do it. So technically, I was like, okay, this part is dying down. QuickBooks switches everyone to online. The product is not good. So what are we doing here? And as you grow, my clients became bigger. I got also bigger clients with multi-entity. And I started looking at the softwares. I reached out. I want to learn it. I was involved with the client, helped them switch to another software. And I realized the consultant who was setting it up, they didn't do a good job. They don't understand the business. Everything is a whole process. They don't understand it. They wanted to build a whole thing that
Custom software and stuff.
It's not custom. It's the QuickBooks. What is so good about QuickBooks? Because it's like off-the-shelf product. Any other software is a whole thing. You need to build it from scratch. And if you don't build it, you don't plan it out right, you're losing money on it. You ask anyone who switched to another software, not QuickBooks.
This multi-entity was QuickBooks?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't QuickBooks.
Okay.
So QuickBooks did not have such a feature as multi-entity. So any software you want to switch costs a fortune. You need to have the right consultant. Your company needs to be in the right place, in the right process when you switch, because everything is a process. You need to hire people who know how to work with it. So every employee you hire, you need to train them, and it takes much longer. Versus QuickBooks, everyone knows QuickBooks. It's easy to use. You can hire much easier your staff for the accounting staff. The most expensive QuickBooks was, let's say, $10,000, 30 user license. That's it. How much can you pay for someone to set up a company on QuickBooks? Let's say complicated, $15,000, $20,000. You go to the mid-market, setting this up is a process of $100,000 to $150,000. The person's paying a licensing between $75,000 to $100,000 a year. And there are some softwares, but most of them integrate with QuickBooks, not standalone.
So you pay for a massive program to integrate QuickBooks anyways.
So even the bigger company, like when you pay $75,000 licensing, they have their own accounting software, but it's a whole complicated thing. Then all of a sudden, QuickBooks came out. I keep on going to the conferences. I was like, no, I don't want to go anymore. It was like actually 2 months before my daughter got married. But then it was like Isri Haksikis. The conference was Sunday. My wife told me, listen, the next few days, nothing's going to happen. There's no deliveries to the apartment. Nothing, you don't need to do that. I said, you know what? Let's go. I picked myself up. I went. It was my best conference. They introduced this new IES.
So, it stands for what?
Intuit Enterprise Suite, which is technically the enterprise version of QuickBooks. Now, at that point...
Just to clarify, those that don't know what enterprise means. These are bigger companies, right?
Yeah, so this we'll talk a second where QuickBooks is going with it. What they showed me, the program was just like, it wasn't live, all the features, but I realized that this is the future. I'm staying on QuickBooks. I was like, I'm stop looking into other softwares to become a partner with them. I said, I'm staying with QuickBooks. I'm going to be the best with this software. Now, in order to sell the software, it wasn't yet good. It wasn't part of my reseller program. I made no commission on it. But since I know QuickBooks so good, I love the process of figuring out how it works and make it really work. So one of my clients, like my own client, not my reseller, he needed this product. So I went through the whole screening process with QuickBooks. So we went through the whole thing. We signed them up. So that client signed up right away with 5 entities. And they were so excited. I showed them how the consolidated reports worked from multiple entities. You just click on a button, you have it right away. You don't have to put together anything. And they signed up like another 17 entities on it. It's a big firm. Intuit came down. So the company see who they are, like blah, blah, blah. So I told the guy, hey, I don't have only one client like this. I have multiple. And before that, I don't remember having multi-entity clients. But Hashem just sent it in, like I got one after the other, after the other. And every client Intuit was speaking like, Intuit is not used to the way we do business. Everyone does a business, it's a big firm, going to switch software. It's a big decision. It takes 6 months and a year. You're starting the conversation with a consultant. When you finish it, that consultant is not there anymore. So the company finds themselves with a new software. Nobody knows how to use it. It's sometimes a mess. But us, we want to stay with QuickBooks. Majority of clients want to stay with QuickBooks till the last minute I can. I have no choice. I go to another software. It's simple. I know it. I can log in. I can hire staff. Staff knows it. I want to stay with QuickBooks. So who needs multi-entity? Real estate, nursing
People have
homes,
multiple businesses, essentially.
ABA. So every client, QuickBooks, like my agent spoke to them. How many entities do you have? Well, we have now 8. We're probably closing another 5 next month. And in the next 6 months, we're closing it like in other states. They didn't have the option to modify a contract. They did a contract for a year. The client wanted to modify. They went crazy. The whole legal team from Intuit was working. So bottom line is, I got a good few clients, everyone multi-entity. And QuickBooks everyone started looking on my site. They came up with a new product. They thought everyone's going to purchase it, and they didn't. Main reason is Intuit was totally not ready for the multi-entity business, for the mid-market clients.
Even though they launched the product for it.
But they didn't understand it. So I wanted to jump for a second. I was like a few weeks ago, maybe it's a month, like right after Purim, I went down to the headquarters. They called me down to the headquarters. They put me in touch like with the top people there. They invited me to come down. I went down with one of my competitors, Mati Khan, with my friends technically. Today, one of my best friends went down to there, and we had the whole day scheduled with every department there.
This is when, last year?
This was not right now after.
So you're fast forwarding already when the relationship
Yeah,
is going.
because I want to go back. I want to go back there after that. They invited us down, and we like went through the product and everything. So they told me, listen, we're in Silicon Valley. Everyone has their iPhones, electric cars. We're the smartest people on the planet. We can build whatever you want. We have no idea what you want. What is a benefit for you? What part is good for you, what not? What is going to be sold, what not? So back to when they launched the product, they didn't understand what the real effect is. Some people told them multi-entity is an important thing. They want to come into the market. Fine. They launched multi-entity. The report capability were not correctly available. The whole setup of how the ownership, the parent company, the subsidiary company, the do from, the intercompany billing, the allocating expenses, all these intercompany business style didn't exist. So they didn't know what exactly to build it. So I started to work with them, and I was like, hey, you have this, it doesn't make any sense. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. So they connect me to the right people, and I told them, why did you launch a product? The construction industry? Who has multi-entity? Construction industry, yeah, they have a few developments, they have development, construction. The healthcare industry, you know how huge it is? I did research on it. They didn't even look, and they didn't even know that it exists.
When you had this conversation, now with them?
No, when I started, I had one client, another client, and my people from Intuit, they used to know, like they have always, if you're a reseller, they have a marketing person who is assigned to you. Okay, so what is your plans for the quarter? What is the plan? I have no idea. If someone is going to need a QuickBooks, they're going to call me. I don't know who's going to need a QuickBooks who's opening a business. Anyone needs, then they come to me, they purchase. Right. So I don't know what's going to do. But then since I'm starting to do so many sales, everyone started looking at me and said, what are you doing? How do you do these sales? So I told them, listen, we have a community. We work together a lot. And if people know of a good thing, they just refer it to their friends. Anyone knows.
So just understand the difference you're saying. You were saying before that a current client of, let's say, who had the desktop software, you couldn't become they couldn't buy from you the online. But this program, they could. It's a separate entity, right?
Not yet.
What does that mean?
Because just by Intuit launching the product, it didn't help me. Because they did not have any deal for resellers. Mm-hmm. So I started listening. Look how many sales I got here. I told them I have like a ton of clients in my back pocket.
You sold the product without making commission for a while.
Correct.
Interesting.
And I told them I'm only selling it to a client who tells me I need this. But I'm not going out to reach out to anyone explaining how good the product is. I'm not going to do that. Why should I? But let's make a deal. Then we can work it out. Finally, I got a deal. I got a good deal from them. I can now offer the product for cheaper than they are. The benefit is that I can then help the client because it's a new product. They keep releasing new features in it. Clients keep on asking feedback. So bottom line, where I am now, that I joined their engineering group. They called me down then. That's why they called me down. And we went through with the engineers how to build a product, how to make it better in the future. What is it that clients need? What is it that works? What is it that doesn't work? And we went through the whole, like there's the BI department, the business intelligence.
Oh, ostensibly. How QuickBooks is a massive product, yeah? How does a Haimishig man from Monroe become like the top seller? How do you sell your? I'm sure that many people sell the product, right? Where do you rank as far as the QuickBooks resellers?
Is Yanky Weberman.
I know the number one.
How's it possible? how's a Haimishig guy? How from you like 0.2%? I don't understand. You can't have some guy have this company, yeah, where he's reselling QuickBooks, does some major marketing plan online, sells to thousands of people. Right? How are you bigger than anyone? I don't get that.
So let's speak about that person. That person, the other person that sells it, also is a company that has a marketing team, a consultant, and a whole...
There's a team, I'm marketing online, pump it, of course.
But they don't know the product. I know the product.
It's wild.
My team knows the product.
It's wild.
My resellers know the product. Now, there's another thing. Even when I'm selling QuickBooks, if someone calls me up, I'm never going to tell them, you should use this product because I make money on it. If this is not the right product for him, I'll never tell him that this is...
Right, because your reputation will go down the tubes in a second. Right.
But they don't have that problem. By us, it's... when my client needs something, I'm going to offer you whatever that's going to work for you. When if it's a new product, I tell for the client, listen, this is a new product QuickBooks just came out with.
It was your technical
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Maybe it works, maybe not. By now I can say, which is really that I can help you work with QuickBooks to fix any issues there. But that's it.
Technical question. You said you have a lot of people who sell for you, right? And they have probably people under them as well. I mean, I'm not saying you actually do this, but like, why would I pay you a commission? I'll go straight to QuickBooks myself. I don't need you.
So I had a lot of clients who I sold the product to. And they asked me, like, okay, I can go to QuickBooks or I can go to you. So,
I'm talking about your resellers. Why can they go through you?
Second.
Go ahead.
Everything has a story how it is
I got you.
put together.
No problem.
So first of all, to be a reseller, you need to have a quota, how many sales you need to do. That was till now. Now with this new product, you have an amount of sales you need to do in order to be able to do it. So besides getting to know the product, which you need to learn on your own, which you can only through experiences with clients. When the first few clients I sold it, I told them, listen, I'm going to help you set it up. Even normally I would charge much more for it because I want to know the product. And I work with them in order to figure it out. It just pays for them to go through me because first of all, the discounts, the commissions, and I really know it.
You actually told me something interesting before we started the interview. I asked you if you're still doing your remote bookkeeping services, and you told me yes, because I mean you still promote it because like you want to learn, you still have to use the product. You got just like I use the product.
So whatever problem my clients have, I figured out a solution. Then I can help other people to sell it. But if I'm not going through the same pain day to day as the other bookkeeper goes through, I wouldn't know what the right thing is.
Okay, one quick question: isn't QuickBooks? I think then I want to get more into detail of the conference. Isn't QuickBooks a product that like really I only need once essentially? I'm starting a new product. I'm starting a business. I need a bookkeeping product. I'm going to have it myself, or I'm starting a company to be a remote bookkeeper. I buy it once. Like, when do they need you afterwards, right? Isn't that how it works?
You don't need me, but you pay every year, every month. Now with multi-entity client, where is the main part in it, one second, it's not only multi-entity. QuickBooks started to release a lot of good new features. They want to go for each industry. They want to become a full ERP. Construction, healthcare, retail. They become
full CRM software.
CRM. And that's what I was working with the engineering team to actually build a product to add all the features that's needed. So besides multi-entity, they also have for each industry.
Do you provide like a service for your clients that are ongoing?
Yes, they pay for me.
That's a separate fee?
Separate fee.
Awesome.
So I had clients that are like, why should I go to you? I can go to QuickBooks. I told them go.
Good luck.
Call me after. And that's what they did. Somehow, when it's a big company, QuickBooks,
of course,
they don't know the product. They don't know what the client. Most of the time,
they don't know the product. They don't know how, the tailor fee.
They don't know the product. I'm telling you. Even now, I'm working.
By the way, they're sponsoring your conference. They're gonna watch this. They're gonna hear you say you don't know the product.
I'm
okay
saying it to their face. They really don't know it. It's a new product. We're releasing new features, and they are not bookkeepers. They may be accountants. They don't work and do bookkeeping on day to day. They don't have the clients who, hey, my report doesn't match. Hey, this doesn't match. Why is this not good? Why is it? They don't understand it.
What they're They're making a product because they're trying to build a product that works, right? They're not like idiots, right? So
they're trying,
right?
They're trying. So that's why I joined the engineering team.
Interesting.
What is it that clients need? Technically, we're shaping the future of the product. Now, QuickBooks took a new line, which is here we're coming to the conference part, that they built like a community called Lighthouse Community. They reach out to clients, see what they need, and they bring in like bigger clients who wants to stay on QuickBooks, and they add it on to the product. Now, where can you get information what clients need more than having bookkeepers and accountants in one place?
That's great, for sure.
So that's why they come down here. They want to hear what the people say. They want to introduce the new features, what they have, what their vision is on how the product is going, and they're working about really cool features. I'm now under NDA, so I can't say everything.
NDA. No, but we did in the first episode of this series. I spoke to Yaman Sharf, and he said a very, very, very cool line. So for people in the bookkeeping field, and Intuit QuickBooks is a very cool thing. It's very cool they're coming down, right? So on one hand, people might want to speak to them and get to know them a little bit, but there's also the ability they want to know us. They want to know the bookkeeping industry. One of the things that I said this to Bjorn, I want to ask you yourself because you're the one who actually put together. You said honestly, you started the Accelerate Conference with a few partners, and you owe them all the credit. But today, really, it's only you. You're running the whole show. That's the end of the day.
They still help me. Everyone helps me.
I don't think they don't help you, but again, there's pros and cons, right? You don't make money, but if you did, you get it. But you also take the only loss. It's all on your it's all on your plate. But at the end of the day, there's something very unique about this Accelerate conference that I don't think exists in any other conference. It just doesn't exist. From what I know of, there's maybe there is, but very few really niche expos, events, conferences like there is as Accelerate conference. For example, real estate, right? So it's generally, there's a wide range within real estate, right? Multifamily owners, mortgage brokers, whatever it is, usually a wide range. Medical conferences, nursing homes, there's a large field. Here, it's specifically for people in the accounting field, right? They're accountants, they're bookkeepers, and like you said, it's really an amazing thing. I have a friend of mine, Mendy Reich, he was on the first panel, right? Riveredge Advisors, and he told me it was amazing to see so many people, like you said, are competitors, and they're all helping each other. It's really a fascinating idea. It's a huge Kiddush Hashem, first of all. It's a huge Kiddush Hashem, the fact that so many Jews are there in competition, they're helping each other. That, I think, most people say that's the most amazing thing you
Why is it?
Why do they help each other?
No, why do we have such a conference? So why? I think because it's a new type of service. It never existed before. And every company needs a bookkeeper and accountant. Everyone.
You're saying two things. You're saying that the people who run these remote bookkeeping conferences, they're still learning the business themselves. They need to know a lot more. Rabbi Yonah said a great line I love. He says, you don't know what you don't know, right? You come to an event like this, you have multiple, many dozens of different vendors and booths that are coming to showcase new products, right? Can you mention one or two of them that are interesting people don't know about?
So first of all, why am I doing it this way? Because I got to know all these softwares
You
from these conferences.
Right, for sure. Give me an example of something that are coming that's interesting.
Makers Hub. They are a software that read the bills, like accounts payable software, and they can match to POs and bring it, and they import to desktop. They connect to desktop and to online. I met them at the conference. The marketing that they had was not a good one. I wanted to pass the boot. That's not for me. I said, no, let me speak to them. I started speaking to this guy. It's an amazing, he has such a good software, and he's customizing it whichever way I want, and he asked pennies then for it. So I told him, listen, you want to stay in business, you got to change your pricing. He changed his pricing now, but I dropped all the other softwares like accounts payable that I use because he has an amazing product, and he's coming down. And I referred him to a lot of companies. Like when I told him I'm doing a conference, like no question, he's right away in. So he has a very good product that he will be there. And who else do I have there? Last time we had Anchor, which is also good. Now they're in Israel. They're coming.
A new idea that people are not aware of, maybe perhaps.
Okay, now let's talk about AI, automation.
AI for sure.
So what happens with AI? What does it do? So the main part is that people don't realize everything that you do regarding data entry, they're becoming obsolete. There's no more data entry anymore. So like we're just sitting with a client today to work out, he's still on desktop and he has a few entities and a few cheshbonos and everything takes time. And instead they don't want to go online because it's a little slow, which is true.
By the way, for years, people didn't want to switch from handwritten to computer, right? Fact.
Now it is slow, it's true. But the way they enter everything, like everything manual, is, of course, it's fast when you do it, but you don't need to do it manual because you can integrate with QuickBooks. It's slower to load a page, but you don't need to load that many pages because the way it works, you need to change the whole process and change it. Now, so every company needs to automate the whole process.
It's about AI. It's not about who's going to know AI. It's about who's able to integrate into the product better.
So what is the most needed product service now? A company that comes and transforms your business
with AI.
Right.
We have
a few people. I forgot the names exactly, to be honest. But there is someone who does it in the specific softwares. Someone does it for the company. But there will be a few AI.
That's amazing. Let's talk about yourself. What are you going to do at this conference? Are you going to walk around? What's your plan?
I'm going to walk around to make sure that everything is okay. There's a lot of people who I communicated throughout the years. I never met. Just waiting to see you. So,
well, I wanted to start before I ask the question about attendees. I have to believe personally, I went to your first conference, and I would love to be this year again. That anyone who owns a business has to come to this conference. It's very simple, right? Because the fact is, the bare bones behind any business is knowing your numbers. That's the fact, right? As you say, the good accountant, the good bookkeeper tells the business owner where they're losing money, where they can make money. That's the way it works. It's well known. So you need to know how to run your business better. You should be, I think, anyone knows the business.
But let's understand another thing. What is this conference? A lot of people ask me, should I come to the conference? Some people want to learn bookkeeping, want to learn accounting. That's not your conference. Go take a course. The conference is for people to run a business on bookkeeping and accounting. Now, how to run a business, every company needs to know how to run a business. how the industry is shifting. What is the speakers about? How the industry is shifting to automation AI. What is your role post AI?
Which I think you're agreeing with me. A good business owner wants to know how his business runs, should come to the conference.
Exactly, because it's going to be in the industry and overall, and about running a business. Now, there will be a lot of good things that you can pick up there. So we have bookkeepers and controllers from big companies coming down as well. You also want to know what the shift is. Then we
I'm sure you have
business
CEOs
owners as
of
well.
companies just coming also, for sure.
They're coming down. There are some people.
What would be your advice to someone who comes to a conference and he's shy? You know, a lot of people, you know, like you said, they have to network, right? At the end of the day, someone who's coming, if he owns a bookkeeping company, he's coming for two reasons, I believe, maybe three. He's coming, one, to see what other products are existing, to get the education they have from the speakers. He might want to draw out new business, which is fine, right? He might want to draw out new business. And then he also wants to network. Because like you said, you don't know what you don't know, you learn new people.
So it's,
you know, like
the
I'm a little shy
the Mishnah
guy,
says,
so like, what if
I
what I do? I don't understand.
can't help you. But I can tell you one thing. There are people who are there, just reach out to anyone and start a conversation with them. You know, you can get the horse to the water, you can make them drink.
Right.
We are here. Everyone is here for one reason. We want to help each other.
Just start to. I think.
So,
I think from just such a beautiful thing about From Jews, and I've done several hundred interviews in lunch break, and what so many professionals tell me, these are guys. You know, we say we're so busy all day. They all say, somebody wants my help, I'm there to help them. Right? A yid wants to help another yid.
Everyone is ready.
They do want to help each other. I think it's a fascinating thing. I have to ask you a question because it's been several years.
So that's also one thing.
Sure, go ahead.
There's a lot of big firm accountants and bookkeepers that they don't need to come because maybe they know everything or whatever it is. They should come for one reason. Come help your fellow brother who's opening now a company. Come speak to them. You have no idea what word you can say or a small advice that can change someone's life. I spoke to a lot of people when I started. You don't even know, some statements still sticks with me, like how to deal with it. And so sometimes I don't even remember what they said. But I remember the way they spoke to me, the way they helped me. It's unbelievable. It changes. And you don't even know what's going to.
I think this. I really think this conference is a beautiful thing. I was there. I was blown away about Jews helping other Jews. Right. So let's. I can't have an interview, a Nasanal Gantz interview, without asking, how do you handle stress? Now I don't remember what you said 6 years ago. I don't remember what we published, what we didn't publish. But how do you handle stress today?
Who says I handle it?
I would say that's the best answer. But what do you do?
I'll be very honest. I can say most of my day is stressful.
It's stressful?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm always, what is my business? I'm going into an account, I see how messed up it is, and I fix it. I have my team working on something. When does it come to me? When something is wrong. So I learned to disconnect myself.
What does it mean?
When I work on something, like today, since I started selling this, I needed someone to organize my schedule. You can't WhatsApp me, call me, can we speak then? I don't know. Send me an email, someone goes through my email, organizes my schedule. Before I double booked, I never answered. I had appointments with people who were not so important.
You hired a personal assistant, basically, finally.
Yeah, because there is no way you can. So I know I come into the office, this is my schedule, this is when I'm going to work now. Everything else does not exist.
Great, hold on. So you asked, I think, the question, I went to on this topic, I think we're going to love this. If anyone's still watching now, right, this is the best part, I think, for general life. I think that's the biggest issue. The biggest issue is somebody comes to work and your assistant makes you the best schedule, even if you don't have an assistant. You sit down in the morning, you say, I got to do this today from 11 to 12, and then Yanky calls you on WhatsApp, and then your kid calls, and then your wife calls, and everything is forget about it. This is an emergency, you're doing this first.
You put away your phone. You put away your phone.
You put away your phone during work?
Yes.
You serious?
Yes.
You're serious right now?
Yeah. People WhatsApp me. I don't see it. Now, if I stop and I take my phone and I see it, then I can answer. Sometimes I can answer right away. Sometimes it can go days. But the problem with WhatsApp is...
Tell me, WhatsApp is the worst. I'm saying you tell me you don't have your phone next to you when you work now?
I have it. It's on the other side.
And it's on silent.
Yeah.
So that's
there is no way how I can work with a client who has so many issues. Now, remember, most clients, when I am on a call, I need to schmeck what the problem is to help them. And then, is this your... Okay, then sometimes, no, this is...
You clearly don't have WhatsApp on your computer. There's no way you would function that way.
I do, but I close it when I have a meeting.
So first, it's got with the match. That's number one. But I hear what you're saying. You see, there's no other way. There's no other way.
There's no other way. You can't continue.
Now, what about stress? We asked the stress question. How do you handle stress? How many coffees do you drink a day now?
Not counting.
That many?
Yeah.
Wow, like 4 or 5 a day?
So what happens when you have a scheduled meeting?
Yeah.
Before you start a meeting, this is going to be a real meeting, I'm taking coffee.
Oh, yeah?
Before I'm running out, it's 55, I have a meeting over the top of the hour.
I switched to decaf 2 years ago. I'm a weird guy. I switched to decaf. I'm serious, by the way.
But this is like, you start a conversation. Now, you deal with people in other states. By me, it's 12 o'clock. By them, it's like 9 o'clock. And they're like, oh, my coffee, I'm just starting out. And they all know about the crazy weather. And they're like, in Texas, it's so hot. And by us, it's the weather that most people can't even come into work.
Do you realize how chilled out he is now, right? We should start with the stress question. He's much more relaxed. We talk about stress. It's awesome. But
because everything is stress. The question is how you take it.
Yeah, but I would say this. I think I hear what you're saying. So I think there's two stresses in life. The stress in business, which is stressful. But I think the most difficult thing in life is when it's not business. I mean, let's say someone's not feeling well, or like you're dealing with some other issue with the family, the kids, whatever, and then you have to work, right? That's the hardest thing. So like, how do you separate that? How do you deal when you're doing something like that? Right? You obviously went through difficulties in your life, so how do you handle that?
I teach myself how to disconnect. I have no other choice. There is no way. So you got to realize one thing. You're not going to solve all problems today. It's not going to happen. So let's try to solve whatever is on your calendar. If not, you're not going to solve anything. So you got to work on only what's in your hands. Now, you need to start learning how to solve this also. It doesn't work the other way. You need to understand, because listen, how did I get where I am? I didn't do anything. Again, throughout my years, I did every mistake in the book. I learned from it. I tried to learn. But at the end of the day, the real truth is, nothing what you do really makes you to where you are.
Everything's there, for sure. There's no question.
But when you own a business, you have no... For example...
You learn Chavos every day?
Yeah.
Really? Every day?
I started having Trusa B'Mnusa in my office. Someone comes down, like every 20 minutes. You never heard about Trusa?
Sure, but I want to hear what do you do? First, explain for those who don't know what's Trusa B'Mnusa.
Trusa B'Mnusa, you have some person comes into your office. You make sure that they have a person, they assign you some Chavrisa. He comes into your office and learns with everyone for 20 minutes.
No way.
Actually, they had this place. They had a meeting here, so then when I signed up. And so they're having a man come down and learn with everyone. So first of all, from 2 o'clock, everyone has his 20 minutes. So it's the break, it's learning in the middle of the day. And
he learned with you Chavos.
So I decided I want to learn Chavos because I never get really to learn it. Now, it's fascinating, like exactly what he's doing, how he's putting it together. And at the end of the day, you need to work. I'm not going to go and share in B'tuch now, but you need to work and do everything in your power that normally makes you successful and still believe has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's two contradicting things all the way. So when you have stress, I can only do what I can do. Now, I can't control the outcome. So I do what I do and Hashem does his part.
A random thing.
And he thinks, oh, it's rosy? No, it's totally not. It's totally not.
One interesting thing the Chavos says that was interesting to me, that he says that when you realize that working is also your avodas Hashem, right? Because that's your
you're required. The same like you're not allowed. He says you're not allowed to put yourself in a schooner because you're going to be punished. That you got to take care of yourself. The same part you have to do your ishtadlus. What means ishtadlus? And today, and the way we live, we need to work very hard to build a company. That's the ishtadlus. You can't just come in and 3 hours and say, the Hashem, that you do the rest.
I was a random fact. You mentioned Chavos, just random people don't know. Chavos is buried in Tzfas. When you go to Tzfas by the Rizal's mikveh and you look down, so you have on the right side, you have the Rizal, Yosef Karo, Ewaled Alsha. On the left side, there's one road you can take down. People don't know this. They go to Tzfas for years, they never know. And right there on the side, on one cave is Chana Shiva B'nei, and right there's the Chavos Avos. Literally right there.
Chana Shiva B'nei is like in 10 places in Israel.
Okay, that's true, but the Chavos is not debatable. It's actually right there. So you want to go to his cave. So first of all, I think this has been a fascinating conversation, and I think the Accelerate Conference, again, which is taking place Wednesday,
May 13, 2026. That's when it's this year.
Very good.
Riverview Ballroom in New Jersey.
And they sign up.
And I added this year another thing. There's a mini shachas 8:30. Oh. Because some people, first of all, came 9 o'clock. You have a place where I can daven? It's number one. Number two, don't go on shul, start a conversation with whatever this news. Come right away, daven there, and get the full.
Well, I think a lot of people are coming to hotels the night before. They want to be there early in the morning, right?
Some people, but it's not that far. I mean,
I know many people want to do that because they want to be there. They want to be fresh in the morning. But the fact is, get up
there
early.
There are people coming from Toronto, people coming from Baltimore.
You have breakfast after Shachar?
Breakfast, yeah.
So again, it's a great idea. People come from early in the morning. start Shachas, you're there in the morning, you have a great day, it's packed full of good food, good energy, good speakers.
And the speakers this way, it's a change in the industry. It's
who are
what
the
I
speakers
have.
is? Let's talk about who the
So
speakers
we have
is
Joe
here.
Woodard about the change in the industry. He's like the influencer in the accounting industry.
He's
so
the
many
legend there.
years. So he knows the whole. He went through the whole stage and he understands what's happening now. Then we're going to have Intuit. It's going to bring the Intuit vision on AI. Where they're going with their product. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to accomplish? We think it's a company, Intuit. There are people, brains, human people behind every decision to discuss. I mean, there's some amazing, talented people. They are working on ideas to help every bookkeeper and accountant with all this automation and AI have their niche within their product. Maybe, I don't know if it's
You
going
have to come to see.
Exactly.
Who else is coming to speak?
Then we're going to have someone from the engineering group. Then we have Hector Garcia. So Hector Garcia is a speaker. Go on YouTube. Like there's so many videos from him. He's an amazing guy. I went through a lot of courses. He's an accountant who does QuickBooks training. QuickBooks, anything about accounting. He created also like an app called Right Tool. Anyone who uses QuickBooks Online has to use this. You can save so many hours. It's like so many things simple things was in desktop that does not exist in online. He created a tool which is a Chrome extension. You have to. I'm not working on a QuickBooks Online account without his tools. So he's also going to be there. So he's going to have a breakout session as well. We're going to have Connect Books, Nasanal Gantz. So I need to also give a breakout session. People love to listen to him. He's like from our community, has a bookkeeping.
Great. I had a lunch break with him also.
Not a lunch.
No, I had a lunch break with him. That's important.
A lunch break. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. But he understands what everyone goes through. He understands really, so he went through everything and he built a successful business. So he's very good. Then there is also Ben Stein. He is he's a very nice person, very talented. He built the software that integrates to QuickBooks, and you can have your whole bookkeeping company work on that, which is also a great.
The fact is this: if you are a bookkeeper or an accountant, or you're interested in this field at all, or you're interested in knowing how your business runs, you have to show up to this conference. You have to know
100%.
what's going on.
If you just want to know where the industry is going, what is going to happen the next few years, then you should know. If you want to make sure that you stay in business, whatever business you are, you should come there. Doesn't matter what you do, what you sell, or doesn't matter which industry. If you really want to understand how business works, how the world is shifting, it's shifted from computers, from paper to computer. It shifted from computer to online. Now it's from online to AI. What it is, everyone can give you a different version. Where you can make use of it, so many places. You just need to understand what's happening. You don't want to switch now, switch later.
You touched the pain point. The fact is, everyone's biggest fear in business is, how do I stay on top of what's coming next? And to know that, you have to come to the Accelerate Conference.
So if you are in the line, in the industry, you work with QuickBooks, you have ideas, you have problems with it, anything you want to say, QuickBooks will be here. We'll have from every department, we'll have someone who's going to be coming for one reason, to listen what you have to say and help you with whatever problem you have. They are listening. I also added a link on my website and OnTrack's website to put in feedback, any issue, feature requests. I'm reviewing it with them in detail and we are building it into the product. But at the conference, we'll have the top people, the engineering, the people from the customer success. Just come, speak to them. Can't wait to see you Wednesday, May 13th. And if you're coming, come and say hello.
We'll see you there.